This may be a little different than my usual video in that I don't think this particular topic is going to go viral, although I would love that. But I do think that it's going to reach the right people, and if that's you, I just want to say I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for being a part of this conversation, because I think men's mental health is so important for us to be talking about in normal, everyday conversation as a way to move the collective conversation forward. So if you're new to my work, my name's Courtney Shand. I'm a relationship coach. I help men embody that natural masculine energy that allows them to show up with more confidence, more clarity, and really feel secure as they're moving into the dating space. This also plays into the rest of their life because, as we know, the way that we feel about our life is usually how we start to show up in life. And so this is something that is really important, not only for my clients, but for, I think, the collective conversation at large. And before we dive in, I just want to celebrate those of you that have been participating in this channel every week for the last 6 months. I just want to say thank you for leaning into this conversation. I would love to hear more about you, what is really resonating, and if there's anything that I can do to participate more in this conversation about men's mental health, please let me know. Because I realize that while mental health is something that everyone engages with or deals with on some level, there are resources that are at different points in your journey going to feel more or less accessible, either in terms of relatability, price point, or level of support. And so I am wanting to contribute this free resource to the conversation because there are some things that I have learned through the years, not only in managing my own mental health, but also helping other people do that as well, that are great beginner-friendly resources, but also ones that I use with my current one-on-one clients. So hopefully this will be helpful for you as well. I think everyone has seen the statistics on men's mental health, and I am not downplaying those by any means, but they do inspire me to want to put some more solutions in place. And that is my intention with today's video, is to not only create a dialogue with you to check in on how you're doing. So let us know in the comments who you are, where you're from, if you have any of your favorite mental health habits that have really been transformative for you. I would love to ask you to share those with others. Not only does that help the conversation spread a little bit more broadly, but also people learn really well from their peers. There are things that have worked for you that might work for someone else, and I would love for that information to spread. So feel free to introduce yourself and let us know what your favorite way of tending to your mental health is. I'm going to share 3 of mine, and hopefully we can start this conversation all together. If you're new to my work, I use body-based modalities, which is essentially just using the experience that you're having in your body to regulate that fight, flight, and freeze response so that those are no longer hijacking your awareness and causing you to behave in a specific pattern. When we can look at it from the lens of the body up instead of just trying to think our way through it and kind of come at it from a more intellectual perspective, I find that people get really quick results with it. So my suggestion is always to engage the body. The reality is this doesn't have to look like one-on-one somatic support, although if you want that, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to support you in that and guide you in that way. This can be really simple, like taking a walk, getting up and stretching, moving your body, going outdoors. I know from personal experience, when you're feeling low, that's the last thing that you want to do. When I was studying the nervous system and how it works, how it connects to our brain and our thoughts, the body is actually being primed on a physiological level to help you manage stress. And there's actually a lot of research that suggests that exercise and just moving your body can be as effective or at least supportive of your current treatment plan. I don't want to speak over any of your doctor's plans or orders in that way, but the research is really positive, and I think it's because the body's priming you to move. The way that stress impacts the body is that it is pouring lots of glucose into your bloodstream so that it can fuel your muscles for movement. Your breath getting faster because you're feeling stressed or anxious is creating more oxygenation of the body so that you can move. The way that your focus narrows when you're feeling stress is so that you can get moving in a direction. All of these can be really subtle ways that your body is actually asking maybe for more movement. So if we just tune into the body and really engage it in that way, something as simple as taking a walk, taking the longer way to the break room, getting up and stretching, anything that's going to move the muscles in your body. And trust me, I get it. When you're feeling low, this is probably the last thing that you want to do. So be easy with yourself. Know what you have capacity for that day. If it's a low day, maybe you do a little bit of stretching in bed. If it's something where you have a lot of anxious energy floating through your body, maybe you do some jumping jacks or something a little bit more vigorous and just see how you feel on the other side of that. That's my encouragement, is to engage your body on whatever level that looks like for you. My second suggestion for managing mental health is actually to engage your community. There's a core human need to belong, to experience our belonging, a safety in that we fit here. And I remember I had a practitioner that I was working with at one point who said, you get in where you fit in. And I really liked that because it helped me remember that sometimes instead of trying to fit into a specific group, I actually needed to find where I felt like I fit in and start showing up there more frequently. This is going to help reduce some of that social anxiety or the nervousness that can show up when we're putting ourselves in a situation that is maybe new for us. And that when we experience that sense of belonging, that visceral sense of being safe in a community and like we are wanted there, it does something to our nervous system. It opens up new pathways in our brain and really allows us to start showing up as a different version of ourselves, maybe one that's a little more calm and able to connect with other people. There's a lot of research supporting the idea of co-regulation in group format. And I think this goes back to days where we lived in more tribal units or with our clan, our families of origin, more extended than we do here in the Western world. Because there's a way that when bodies are grouped together that they naturally start to regulate with each other's nervous systems. I think this has a little bit to do with that sense of general belonging, which is why you want to go get in where you fit in, but also to do with the ability to regulate each other. The feeling of being able to come back to neutral and feel calm in a group of people. This can be really challenging when you're used to doing a lot of things on your own or you have that lone wolf type mindset. And so my encouragement this week would be to think about where you feel like you fit in and go there more often. The internet's a big place. There are lots of communities out there. If you're looking for a community, feel free, roll call. We're doing a roll call down in the comments. If you're wanting to connect with other people, feel free to introduce yourself. Really play full out here. Introduce yourself and ask for what you need. This channel is designed to create more community space. There's a membership platform if you want a little bit more privacy. And I'm always thinking of ways to create a little bit more safety and privacy where you can have more intimate conversations with a group of other people who are also experiencing similar challenges as you. So keep an eye out for those experiences when those come up, because you're more than welcome to be there and participate. We'd be happy to have you. And the last thing that I would suggest is to start to engage your inner world. Because you're on this channel, I'm going to guess that you have a little bit of language around this, but again, I want to keep this video a little more high level so that if this is the first time that we're meeting, this can be a resource that is of service to you too. And what I mean by engaging your inner world is to meet yourself where you are. If this is something that you're brand new to, really noticing, hey, this is something that I'm leaning into, and really celebrate that. This is a practice that's rooted. There's a morning and an evening ritual, and the evening ritual is to appreciate yourself. Appreciate 3 things that you did that day, and it can be things that you did for yourself. So for example, if you woke up and made breakfast, it's likely that you've probably just gone through 1,000 breakfasts and never thought twice about it. But I want for you to really be intentional about saying thank you, as though it were someone else that had made you breakfast. If we were to externalize this a little bit and say someone made you breakfast, would you just skip over it, or would you be more likely to pause and say, hey, thank you for making me breakfast? We want to start doing this for yourself, and I want you to practice this tonight. 3 things that you appreciate as if it were done by someone else. Notice what the experience is like to have this type of conversation with yourself and see what starts to shift after a week of doing this. Because what I know about masculine energy is it thrives with appreciation. And most of the time, we feel run down, and my clients will report feeling kind of run down in their day-to-day routine or just not quite lit up in their life because we aren't giving ourselves the fuel that we're needing to feel alive and purposeful in our own life. So I'd love if you try that. Let me know how it goes for you. The other thing is to slow down. It's really likely that we move through the day and just go really quickly, or at least just the same speed every day. I want for you to be really intentional this week to slow down. If you normally eat really quickly, can you give yourself another 2 minutes to finish your meal? Notice what happens when you allow more space to be present with whatever it is that you're doing. There are some really great resources, even here on YouTube. I would recommend Jamie Glatt. I'll link her here. About mindfulness and really giving you some new ideas, some new language around how to move through your day in a more mindful approach. But this can be really supportive to your mental and physical health in that we probably are needing both a little bit more excitement, but also a little bit more space in our day. A lot of times for my clients, I talk about this idea of operating in survival energy, which is really the idea of just hustling and trying to outrun that fight-flight response. I'm chuckling because this is something that I spent many years living this way, and so I can say it's not very fun. And if you find yourself there, the way out of it is to give yourself the appreciation that you need for the things that you are contributing to your own well-being so that it becomes something you look forward to contributing for yourself, and allowing there to be a little bit extra time in your day. It can be 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be an entire hour to focus on these things. You just want to focus on creating a little bit more space throughout your day so that you have some room to move about more freely. The last thought I'll leave you with in terms of engaging your inner world is to be willing to write a new ending. I love this idea. Actually, my first business was called Tiny Edits, and the idea was that you are the writer of your own story and you deserve a really good one. And if you're willing to play in that world, you get to write the ending, and it changes as you make every tiny edit along the way. It's not going to be the ending that you think it will be when you're focused on making small edits along the way. So if that resonates, my encouragement would be to think about what edit you could make today that's going to change the outcome of your story and be willing to allow the story to unfold differently. This requires us to step into a more courageous version of ourselves and really lean into the idea of what's possible as opposed to just what's likely to happen. Depending on where you're at with your mental health, this can be challenging. It can feel like a reach, or it can feel like, oh, finally, that's the thing that I've been wanting to do, and really engage you in that way. Because if you're still watching this video, I know you're someone who is willing to bet on yourself. You lean in when it gets challenging, and that you're working on creating a life that helps you feel really alive, and as a result creates a space around you that invites other people forward. If this content resonated with you and you're wanting some extra resources, I would encourage you to check out my program Rooted. We get into some nervous system practices that you can do on a daily basis to help support good mental health, as well as understanding what keeps you from showing up in the most confident version of you, and how the feminine responds, what they believe, behave, operate in that may be different from the masculine energy that you are more familiar with. So that's a really helpful resource. You can always check out the dating codes. It's really kind of designed to help you think about things from a more empowered perspective. And I'm going to be offering a discount code for any of my masterclasses this month. I'll put a link in the comments for that. And if you want one-on-one support, that's really where we can get in and tailor the approach to you. We can look at things not only from a wide lens of your entire life and figure out where the boundaries need to be to support your mental health thriving, but also from a generational perspective so that you can really heal the nervous system on a deep, deep level so that you are really writing a new story for not only you, but any generations to come. So if that's the type of support that you want, feel free to apply for coaching. I have some space available still, and if that is something that you are ready to take off with this year, I'm really excited about the new resources that are coming up in the next couple months. So feel free to check that out, and I hope you have such a great week.